I going to talk about? It was very like the time I went down to, I forgot where it was, but I got myself into a Methodist quarter, and we were hopefully going to review my book, Drinking with Dickens. And of course, when we got down there, the lovely girl said, well, it's not a very opportune thing to do, you don't drink. And I thought, well, give me 5 minutes, we'll talk about something else. But when I offered her a book, she accepted the book with great alacrity. Bless her heart and soul. Now, tonight, I am going to be, as always, because wait.
Turn the volume up.
You haven't finished yet. Tonight, I am going to, oh, bless you, dear. Well, there is an extra.
Down here.
Can you hear that far in?
No.
Well, you better stand up then. I'm going to be a benevolent German. But I am surrounded by 2 past and future German. You know them both. They're brutal. Now, the first thing that I have been told is that all those who are eating before grace will buy a bottle of port. They will go down the street. We may well have enough port.
Don't touch anything.
That's
good. Can we?
And then, I think while I'm at it, on the glass I have to have a drink.
Still good. That's it.
There you go. You're getting control.
Let's get these. If the battery goes.
All right? Now, just to start the proceedings, I might as well finish the report I know.
All right.
It's awful noisy.
There are Mr. Dumpkins who failed to have his tie on at a meeting with me. I may say it is difficult. In England, I was travelling by train, and I had to walk down to the end to get a drink or something, and I passed by one of our members who was not wearing a tie. He had started from some way down in Somerset or something like that. And I touched him on the shoulder and I said, bad luck. That's it. But we must realize we don't actually find people. It's the other way around. If you have not got the tie on, you signify, very simply, if you desire to buy sustenance. So you're doing a very, very kind thing. Eating before grace is much the same. If you want to buy a drink, God bless you. Now, we have a lovely one here. Colonel Blazer, bless him, he didn't have a tie on the other night. Colonel Blazer? Where is Colonel? Colonel Blazer, bless him, was not wearing a tie because he wanted to buy port. But he did better than that. He got engaged to a lovely girl. So what we decided to do is to find him a bottle of port and give him a bottle of port for being engaged. But he's got to buy the port first. Bob Sawyer, yes, he's a great character, Bob Sawyer. He didn't have a tie. So poor old thing, he has to buy a bottle of port. And the final one is a certain and very important member of the club, Mr. He asks us to stereo and places like that.
Oh, yes.
You know? He failed dismally to have a tie. But don't watch it. We've got big ears. He has done something which I think is absolutely disastrous. He has given a certain new member a name which I would never give my worst enemy. He called him the Madman. Now, I know most of you have read Pickwick, but if you ever read that chapter, the Madman's Manuscript. Mr. Pickwick reads it in, I slept in the very bed he did, very uncomfortable. It's a four-pager, it's in a little pub called The Leather Bottle in Cobham. And he read it just before he went to bed. And as the light went out, he just finished it, and it is very frightening. It overlooks a churchyard. Anytime you come over, I will introduce you to Mr. Pickwick's bed. No, the girls I was thinking of. I think for that, he has the opportunity of either changing his name to the Madman and acting himself, or he'll find a bottle of port. Do you think that's fair?
Both.
Yeah,
Both.
I'll let him off being a Madman, then I will not be further.
I shall keep my name, Cedric.
Yeah, I think that's right, sir. I think you've done very sensibly. We have the new, lovely man who's going to do the immortal memory, therefore ceases to be a madman, or ceased already, and he becomes Colonel Clubber? Mr. Sir.
Sir.
Sir. Sir who?
Somebody clever.
Yes, somebody Clubber.
Is that like Flubber?
Sir Thomas Clubber, God bless you, sir. And I think on that note, picking up the memory, I would like to invite our usual enormous member, the biggest member of our club, to table the immortal memories. Immortal memory. What are you talking about? The immortal paper. Our paper. You ought to pick it up straight away.
We have a script.
I've got a script writer, but I haven't got anything else. Gentlemen, where are the... Have you called it? Jonas March.
Where is he?
Well done.
And then, yes, with your permission, I'm going to invite the benevolent clergyman
No.
to say grace. Well, I've been told on my right, but it's the other way around.
No, I'd like Peter Stone to do that first
Right.
before we get into the football. Peter, would you do that?
Peter Stone, who is a very famous member, is just going to say a few words.
Yes.
Have you got
Never a fear.
Yeah, and then we'll turn it on. White please.
Quiet. This is Sergeant Major here. Gentlemen, Mr. Mivins, or Jim Fish, died recently. Being a keen Navy man, he had his ashes buried at sea. This was done. He was past president of St. George's Society and also the American Society of Metals. He was also an honorable member of this club. We were pals. He was my mate. We were peddlers together. And those of you who peddle for a living know what I mean. So all I want to say is, Jim Fish shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary him, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember him.
Thank you, Doc. Yeah, that was very nice. Jim Fish. And now, may I invite the benevolent clergyman to say grace?
You don't have to be. Thank you. I have you on video, so I'm sending it to the...
Yes, Mother, I am working.
Hello, Mom.
Sending it to Cardinal Bevilacqua.
We all have to take in the seminary Latin. Sententia antique Latina, fratres carissimo. And sometimes you can get some spurious translations of Latin. I once said to a young gentleman, "Dig mihi, o bone Jesu," and he said, "Oh skinny Jesus." And since I thought his knowledge of the ancient language was gone, I said, then let me quote to you from our Holy Father's latest encyclical, Mangela Pupa Omnis Terra, Mangela Pupa Omnis Populi, which loosely translated means eat crap all the world. He had a bad day. This is a wonderful day for our club because you have graced us with your presence, Cedric, and we are honored by your presence, especially as you approach that wonderful birthday number 83. And we are sincerely honored. In Latin, we would say ad multos annus, which means many years. But as one kid wished me, ad multos anus, which means many asses. Now I know I can be that way. And I know my proctologist makes a lot of money off of me. I just had a colonoscopy, and I swear the nurse got revenge for everything a husband ever did to her. I knew I was in trouble when she began to sing Back in the Saddle Again. However, I would say to you, now that I go through this, is I would say, Domini salvum fac, which means, well, you translate it. Patrum nostrum Cedric, ad multos annus, to our father Cedric, many happy years. And may the Lord shed his grace upon you. May you have a smile on your face, keen insight in your eyes, and may you always grace this club, not only with your memory, but with your presence. Amen. Who's next on the hit parade?
This notion of brotherhood is among the oldest the human community has produced. The homonoi of the Greeks, the concordia of the Romans, the 12 apostles, the knights of the round table, the brethren of the common life, Bruder Bund, we happy few, we band of brothers, and so on, are all part of a long and hallowed historical and literary continuum. But cliches become cliches precisely because they contain an element of truth. And the best of them are so frequently recycled, not only because they comprise a convenient shorthand of expression, but because what they express resonates so well with the universals of the human condition. Hence, though both the funeral oration of Pericles in ancient Athens and the Gettysburg Address in the 19th century United States are full of what their respective cultures would recognize as cliches, and indeed, though the form and content of the latter were largely borrowed from the former, both rank among history's great oratorical efforts because they touch what Lincoln would call on another occasion the mystic chords of memory. You like that one? Well, so too with the Pickwick Papers. Or as Sammy Weller observed, there's a providence to it all. Or more recently, as the Oxford Companion to English Literature put it, the club serves to link a series of detached incidents and changing characters without elaborate plot. Rather dry way to say that it mirrors the way life works. Or perhaps the way life would work if everyone we encountered were by turns cagey, eccentric, appealingly naive, appallingly cynical, wise beyond their years, invisibly ignorant, or rascally yet rescuable. Let us pause while I turn the page. There's one more to go. The characters, all original in their own right, are so appealing because their personalities are so skillfully enhanced, at times even shamelessly exaggerated, that one never loses sight of their essential humanity while we laugh at their antics. While we smirk with satisfaction as they puncture the pretensions of 19th century English society, we see ourselves, both as we would like to be and perhaps on closer inspection, as we really are. As we all know, Charles Dickens' time, like our own, was a period of extremes. The word Dickensian, I think, comes to mind. Enormous changes, social disruption of cruelty and selflessness, of seemingly unbounded potential and unplumbed depths of suffering. Time in which children hauled coal carts in mines, and women worked 16-hour days in the mills, and a man could be hanged for any one of 100 separate offenses. That's not what we're trying to do. To us, no, please wait, there's more. You never know what is going to go over. To us, it often seems a simpler time than our own, though I'm sure such sentiments would surprise Charles Dickens and his contemporaries. After all, the problems and choices they face no doubt seem just as intractable and fraught with ethical ambiguity as ours do to us. But though the distance between us may give the illusion of a sharper focus and starker choices, what still strikes us as so singular, what stands out most across the divide of a century and a half, is the clarity of his moral vision. This, I think, we envy as we muddle through a period shot through, so the pundits tell us, with, quote, detached irony. One in which, to use yet another cliche, the best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. There was certainly nothing detached about Charles Dickens' irony, and it was the passionate intensity with which he engaged his times that appeals so powerfully to us today. I suspect that at some level this is what draws us together this afternoon, and several times a year to break our bread and engage in our rituals and laugh uncontrollably throughout. By doing so, we hold on to a tangible, if tenuous, link to that vividly imagined happy few, that band of brothers who realize their humanity by embracing their foibles with a raucous laugh and a sense of adventure, just as we would like to do. Right now, though, as Mr. Pickwick would say, it's always best on these occasions to do what the mob do. So, gentlemen, a double glass of the variable, and I give you the immortal memory, Charles Dickens.
You're going to get up and do it up. On your feet.
Well done. Well done.
Congratulations, Thomas. That is an excellent everybody. I loved it, everybody. Now we have just a pause. The port is being brought on. That is an important thing. One of the joys of this club is that we have a lot of dedicated, one very good technician at this stage while they're still capable. Gentlemen, Thank you. Gentlemen, while the committee is still able, I would like them to stand up because you people in the far corner, can you hear me? Ahoy! Those committee members who are capable of standing up, will they stand up? Because these are the guys who keep this club going. And it includes Mr. Pickwick, if he can still stand. They do all the work to make this possible, and it is hard work. It is hard work. I have finished. Now, I discovered to my very great pleasure the cache of drinking with Dickens in this country, untapped, which I didn't know about. So I bought some. Elena's got them. These are the ones that you keep in your loo, and in the morning you look at the one that you like best, and that sustains you throughout the day. And you go home at night and try it. They are all medicinal. But more important, a small commercial coming out next year is, wait for it, The Miracle of Pickwick. Now, this is a shortcut to becoming erudite in Pickwick. You don't have to read Pickwick, you just read my book, and you will enjoy it. It is in fact written for women, because no woman has ever read and understood Pickwick, which has been my saving.
It's with a story that begins when I was 11 years old.
How old are you? 12?
When I was 11 years old, the brilliant people who ran the school that I belonged to thought that it would be prudent to put me in the advanced English class, where I was handed a copy of Great Expectations. And as I flipped through that book, page after page after page, I remember thinking very hard that this was far and away the worst book I had ever read in my entire life. Now, shortly thereafter, the Pickwick Club was formed in 1981. And I saw this as my unique opportunity to get revenge. And I knew that I would become a member of the Pickwick Club and eventually get to meet you face to face. And then when I did, it turned out that you were a pretty nice guy. And, so in any case, this club provides us all a tremendous amount of fun and good times, and I think we all have a really good time here. And certainly the cornerstone of our club is always Cedric. And so in honor of your birthday, we'd like to present you with this gift. This is a fountain pen which is engraved Happy Birthday Cedric from the PPC 1999. And it's a gentleman who all please rise and raise your glasses. In honor of Cedric's birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Sure. I am instructed by Mr. Pickwick, and if you are instructed by Mr. Pickwick, you know that's going to cost you a bottle of port later on. Nevertheless, you do abide by the rules. He said, for God's sake, keep it short. Okay. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Oi! That corner. Even you guys. Thank you very much for looking after me, and particularly for a pen. That's one of the best things I love in life. I wake up in the morning at 5, I sit down and write one letter in my life, so I write 365 letters, you know. Yeah. I used to say that a letter written to this country was like rolling it up, putting it in an empty bottle, corking it up, throwing it to the Atlantic, and you never knew whether it got there or not. except on one occasion somebody rang me up in the middle of the night. Now I have a horrible suggestion. I'm scared in saying it. A third of my mail comes from this country.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What's happened to you?
You're full of debt.
An awful lot. I will not go on an email, it's too easy. This is difficult to write to them, and I'm going to keep it that way. God bless you all, and thank you very much indeed. As always, the most wonderful country in the world.
Yeah.